the simple
Ryan,
bare necessities.
that's
Forget about your worries and
Okay, we have to get into this story. So you heard there a 10-year-old local news report from, I think, Channel 2 in New York.
Channel 2.
Channel 2.
Is that the one Elf was on?
I don't know.
No,
But the story was they found this dead bear cub in Central Park, and it had obviously just been dropped there. It's not like there was a bear cub that got free or was roaming around Central Park. Somebody dropped it with a bicycle.
And stabbed it?
And that's another gross part of that. So today, this story comes out. It might have come out late last night, but I saw it today. The New York Post apparently was going to publish a story that they did this morning and told RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who, of course, is an independent or whatever, third-party presidential candidate, they told him, hey, we have information that you were the one behind that dead bear cub in Central Park 10 years ago, and we're going to write a story about it. So RFK Jr. decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put out a video of me in my kitchen with Roseanne Barr, where I tell Roseanne Barr the real story of why I'm connected to a dead bear cub in Central Park. And here's the first part of the story. I'll explain what happens in between because he just talks way too slow and way too long. But here's him detailing the first part of how he came across a dead bear.
A woman in a van in front of me hit a bear and killed it, a young bear. So I pulled over and I picked up the bear and put him in the back of my van because I was going to skin the bear. And it was very good condition, and I was going to put the meat in my refrigerator. And you can do that in New York State. You can get a bear tag for a roadkill bear.
Okay, so RFK, this is 10 years ago, RFK Jr., he's driving down the highway. He's on his way to go hawking with friends. And so he's, an outdoorsman. This is in, I think, the Hudson River Valley. And this woman in front of him hits a bear. And his response to the situation is, this is pretty good bear meat. I'm going to take this dead bear, throw it in the back of my car, and I can save the meat for later and who knows what else. So then he goes hawking with his friends. They're out there for hours and hours. And then they have a reservation for a steakhouse in New York City. And he drives his car to the steakhouse with the dead bear still in it. When he's at the steakhouse, he realizes, holy crap, I have to go to the airport. I have a flight that I have to make, and now we've been at this steakhouse so late that I can't go home to the suburbs and drop off the bear and then go back and make my flight. So he realizes this is what he has to do. He's got to figure out something to do with the dead bear cub in the back of his car.
And at the end of the dinner, it went late, and I realized I couldn't go home. I had to go to the airport. And the bear was in my car, and I didn't want to leave the bear in the car because that would have been bad. So then I thought, at that time, this was the little bit of the redneck in me. There'd been a series of bicycle accidents in New York. They had just put in the bike lanes and saw a couple of people had gotten killed, and it was every day, and people had gotten badly injured. Every day it was in the press. And so I thought, I wasn't drinking, of course, but people were drinking with me who thought this was a good idea. And I said, I had an old bike in my car that somebody had asked me to get rid of it. I said, let's go put the bear in Central Park and we'll make it look like he got hit by a bike. It'll be funny for people.
So that's how the bear ended up there. He's with a bunch of buddies. Everybody, not him, as you heard him say there. Everybody else is hammered. He says, hey guys, hey fellas, little problem. Dead bear in the back of my car. What should I do with it? And they're like, blame it on the cyclists. Throw it in Central Park with a bicycle. And he's sober and he's sitting there and he's like, that's a good idea. Let's go stage this. And of course, as you heard from the news story at the top, not a single person came across that and thought that that's what happened. Somebody was like, this is weird.
Apparent case of animal cruelty.
Someone dumped a dead bear that had stab marks all over it with a bicycle in Central Park. What kind of person does this?
There's a lot of holes in this story. And I also find it interesting that it's anything that's bad he wasn't doing. I didn't hit the bear. Somebody else hit the bear. I wasn't drinking. Somebody else was drinking. No one has told me why it was stabbed. If you got hit by a car, it's not stabbed. Did he start to skin it and then
that's
realize?
What I thought. Was he like gonna start dressing it in the woods with a pocket knife?
Yeah. There's just a lot of holes in this story. And where'd the bike come from?
So he said that he had an old bicycle in his car, which I'm also thinking.
So he's got a bear and a bike in his trunk?
What else is in this car?
Is this a clown car trunk?
It's like
I don't get it.
Like it's like Goodfellas.
Yeah,
like why are you driving around Manhattan with a dead bear in the back of your car? And so he put this out there because he was worried that the New York Post story was going to make him look bad. And I'm like,
how'd Roseanne get here too?
I thought Roseanne was like a Trump person too. Did she switch and now she's a RFK Jr?
I have no
Maybe she's a
idea.
big fan of young bears.
A lot of questions here.
if you're a hunter,
I don't buy any of it.
617-779-7937. I would love to hear from people who actually go out, hunt in Massachusetts or other parts of New England, if any of this smells right to you. Because as somebody who I don't hunt, my dad hunts, which means that he goes to a cabin and drinks with friends and then
like I fish.
Yeah, it just never comes home with anything.
On your boat.
Yep.
But like this isn't even hunting. He just picked up roadkill
But you
on the
can
side
do
of the
that.
road.
You can do that. I don't know the
Is
like
that
lengths.
usually your first instinct when you see roadkill?
No,
You're
but I'm
like,
not a hunter, but hunters
free
do that.
free
I know
deer?
people that take deer that have been hit. Like in a lot of towns, the police even have a list of hunters to call if there's a car accident with a deer because the hunters want the deer. It's a free deer, meat, whatever. But how quickly do you need to dress it, or doesn't it start to go bad?
Because he was hawking all
yeah,
day.
he went hawking.
Do you
so
know
it's
who-
sitting in the sun in his car and with the bike.
Do you know who RFK Jr.'s wife is?
Cheryl Hines.
Yeah, this sounds like a Curb Your Enthusiasm plot.
See,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean. This kind of what it sounds
including
like.
a random cameo by Roseanne.
Like Larry David would have a bear in his trunk and forget about it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Also sounds like a Kiefer Madness. I'm in the wrong time slot for this right now.
No, you're fine.
Extremely strange behavior. If you can explain it to me, I'd love to hear your perspective on the RFK Jr. story. Is this just rednecks doing redneck stuff? I didn't think Kennedys could be rednecks. He said that he had a little redneck going on.
Fitzy claims I'm redneck adjacent.
Why? Because you wear visors?
I don't know. He calls me a redneck.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's okay.
I don't see anything about redneck
Offended
about
by
you.
it.
Anyway.
You're a high class boat owner.